All of a sudden I hear my boss go,
"We need to get out of here."
And I'm like, what is going on? What do you mean we need to get out of here? Like, we need to leave? Like, what's going on? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm doing something a little bit different than I've ever done before. I'm going to be doing a story time on the time that I went to New York. I went a few months ago. As you can see, I'm such a loser. I'm wearing my I Love New York shirt. I can't get any more basic than that, but I just had to do it. It was sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm making a video about New York. It just all fit well together. Okay, this is enough. So basically, I went to New York in July for a work trip, and so I work for the Blue Jays, which is a baseball team here in Toronto. It's a professional baseball team, and we got nominated by ESPN for the Team of the Year award for humanitarian efforts. So a group of us were chosen to go to New York and attend the award ceremony. So me, never having been to New York and also knowing I'm going to an award show, I'm just so excited. This is like the best time of my life. So we aren't actually flying there. We're driving from Toronto to New York. So it's about like a 9-hour drive, I think. So there were 2 cars that we were taking, well, vans I should say. In one car were people going up on the Saturday, 4 people. On the second car, which was the car that I was in, it was 5 of us. We were in this van and we're going up on the Sunday. So I get to the stadium, we drive off, everything's great, you know, just the basic going to New York, I guess. And so we're driving along, whatever. We get to New York and we're staying in an Airbnb, not a hotel, mind you. So we're staying in an Airbnb and my boss is like parked where the Airbnb is. So he calls the Airbnb guy and he's like, okay, so how do we get into the Airbnb? Like, we don't have keys or anything. And the guy tells him the passcode. The guy seems a little bit fishy, to be honest. Like, he seems a little confused about why we're calling him, and it's like, buddy, we are supposed to be staying at your Airbnb. Like, none of us are from New York. We don't know what we're doing. And mind you, we're not staying in New York City. We're staying in Brooklyn. So it's a bit of, not like a long drive, but it's a bit of a drive to get to the actual city where the award show is happening. But anyways, it's a bit of like a dingy Airbnb, like not the best, but whatever, we're in New York, why do I care? So I'm just like living my life. We go out that night, we go to a bar, tons of fun, everything's great. Now the next morning, we have to basically go to this place in New York from Brooklyn and get like tested, rapid tested, to make sure that we don't have COVID before we can go to the award show. So we gotta be there bright and early. Everybody's up. It's 8 a.m. We're all getting ready. I'm putting on a cute outfit as I do. I'm ready to hit the streets of New York and look fire. And so all of a sudden, as I'm getting ready, and mind you, I've only been there a night, but like I've taken out all my stuff and put it everywhere, like all over my room, because we had like separate rooms. All of a sudden I hear my boss go,
"We need to get out of here."
And I'm like, what is going on? What do you mean we need to get out of here? Like, we need to leave? Like, what's going on? He's like,
"Everybody pack your stuff. We need to evacuate."
I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Because I just unpacked everything. It's like everywhere. So I'm packing up my stuff. Everybody's packing up their stuff. And the 2 girls from the first car on Saturday, they had joined us the night before. So now instead of there being 5 of us, there's 5 plus 2 is 7. There's 7 of us packing up our stuff, trying to get ready. But we have 2 cars, mind you. So we have the car we took, and then we have the car that the 2 girls took. So apparently the Airbnb guy went against some Airbnb violations, and Airbnb was emailing him and calling him all night saying that we needed to evacuate the premises as soon as possible. So we're still staying here another night, and now we have to leave our Airbnb, nowhere to go, but okay. But the 2 girls, they had parked somewhere further along because there wasn't parking, whatever. So they go walk to get the other car, and all of a sudden we get a call from one of the girls, like one of my coworkers that went to get the other car, and she says,
"The car isn't here."
So the other van was not in the spot the van was supposed to be. So now we're like, we don't know where the car is. So we all have to pile in this one car where we're all squeezed together. We can barely fit our luggage. Like, luggage is on our laps, luggage is here, there, everywhere. We're like, what do? We have to go get our test at a certain time too. So we're trying to get there for the time so that we can go to the award show. And let me remind you, we're going to an award show. So we need to look good. And there's no way I'm getting dressed dressed or like changed in a car or like a bathroom somewhere, so we need to find somewhere to stay as well. So this car is now in the pound, and like, do we have time to go get the car from the pound? No. Does anybody want to get the car from the pound? No. It's just mayhem. So my boss is also trying to find somewhere for us to stay, and he finally finds, I think we stayed at a Hilton. I think so. We definitely didn't stay at a Hilton. I don't know why I said that. Like, no, that would have been way too expensive. We stayed at a Holiday Inn. Let me correct myself. We stayed at a Holiday Inn, and we found one in New York that he got rooms for everybody. And there's this video of my coworker who is brushing her teeth on the side of the streets in New York because she had lost or dropped or something her toothbrush the night before, and she's like hovering over a sewer brushing her teeth. It's hilarious. I have a highlight reel on my Instagram of the trip to New York, so if you want to check that out, I will link, or like it is linked down below, so you can check out my Instagram. It's at thealexandrakleinert. But anyways, on a side note, that was just a side note thing because I think that was hilarious. So just when you think this nightmare is over, because I mean we found somewhere to stay, we go to the award show. I am looking my best. Tip-top shape, best I've ever looked. Award show, amazing. There's so many cool people there. Matt and Rachel from The Bachelor were there. Who else was there? There was a bunch of like sports people because obviously it was a sports award show. The guy from Avengers was there, Agent Coulson. That was pretty cool. And so we decided to go out for the night. We do a little bar hopping, and then we decided we were gonna go to this speakeasy, and we're all amped up to go to this speakeasy. Like, I've never been so amped. And we go, and all of a sudden there's an altercation outside of the speakeasy, of course. So there's this guy yelling at the cops, yelling at this other guy. Apparently he's saying he has a gun. I don't know what the situation is. We're not used to this in Canada. We don't really have guns. Like, of course there's people that are rowdy, but it's more like, I'll beat you up, not like I have a gun. So we're just like, okay, we're gonna walk the other way now. So we go somewhere else, and then eventually we just go home for the night. Story is not over though, because we still do not have the car. Everybody's like, everybody go to sleep. We'll see you in the morning at checkout at whatever time, 10 a.m. We'll drop off the two girls to get the one car, and then we will go on our merrily way and drive back to Toronto. So we're all sitting in the lobby, you know, waiting for them to come back now that they've gotten the second car, and we get a call that they won't give us the car. Why won't they give us the car? Because apparently we didn't have the right tags. So now we're sitting in the lobby of this hotel because we had to check out of our room, so essentially we're stranded again, but I don't know if you consider that stranded. This seemed literally like a movie. Like, we're waiting for the people from Toronto. We had to send somebody in Toronto to go to the office to send us the right tags for the car. It was a whole situation. It was a long A-word process, and eventually they got the tags. Eventually my boss came back with his car. We load up the van, and then we're on our way, and we get home. And that was the story of when we were stranded in New York. But honestly, it's one of those things where even though so many things went wrong, it made the experience better that all these things did happen. I really enjoyed it, and I really think that was one of the best trips of my entire life. I hope you enjoyed this. I've never done story time, so maybe I'm really bad at it and I should never tell a story again. But if you did like this, I have funnier stories, different stories that I can definitely share. Or this may be the first and the last. I don't really know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to check out my Instagram if you want to see actual clips and the highlights from the actual trip, and then also just in general, if you want to follow me, give me a follow. But yeah, I guess I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.